Welcome to my channel EDU Nursing. Today we are going to have a discussion on the small topic of child health nursing, that is a behavioral and social problem in children. This is the basic topic of pediatric. Before starting the topic, let me remind you about the subscription. If till now you have not subscribed the channel, kindly subscribe the channel so you will get a notification of it whenever I will post a new video, and press the bell icon as well. So without wasting the time, we will start the topic, that is a behavioral and social problem in children. So what is the behavioral problem? A problem which is going to show by the children symptomatically. Okay, the symptomatic expression of emotional or interpersonal maladjustment of the child. That is the behavioral problem. Means what? The child is not able to adjust the environment and they will show some faulty behavior. That is the behavioral problem. What is the social problem? Things which are not accepted by the society. The behavior which child is showing and behavior is not able to be accepted by the society. That is the social problem. So, what are the causes? Faulty parental attitude. If mother or father, if they are not educated, they are not having that much importance towards the child. So, what may happen? Their child will be having will start developing a different kind of attitude which they will also not understand. The parents will also not understand because they will not have that much capacity to understand it. So, faulty parental attitude. Next is inadequate family environment. If there are continuously quarrel in the family, so it is going to harmful for the child's mentally and physically sick or handicapped children. As the child is not normal, the child is sick mentally or as the child is physically handicapped, so what may happen, they are not able to accept the child. So that can be one of the cause. Then influence of social relationship. Child is mingled with the outside environment more than the family environment, so influence of the social relationship also may hamper the child's behavior. Next, influence of mass media. Child is seeing something on the television in the video and try to imitate it in a inappropriate way. Next is gender. In some part of the society still it is going on like girls are not supposed to do like that, boys are not supposed to do like that. So if more pressure is going to be given to the children, so it again is going to be the behavioral problem. Next is family history. If mother or father, either gender, is doing something with the for example, a mother is going to be harassed by the father, that is seen by the boy child, so what may happen, he may imitate in the future. Okay, he will, the same impact will be in their brain. So family history. Next is there are some classification as per the age and as per the nature. As per the age, like infancy there will be some problem, childhood there will be some problem, adolescent period there will be some problem. In the nature wise, there will be a problem of movement, habit, toileting, speech, school, sleep and list. These are some list of problems that we are going to see in the detail in this lecture. So without wasting the time, I am directly taking first topic, that is the abdominal colic. This characteristic you can see in the infant, mostly in the infant. Colic is a characteristic by intermittent episode of abdominal pain and severe crying in the infant. Means the children will cry very much and they will try to show that they are having the abdominal pain. This problem mostly seen in the infant, that is the less than 3 months of age. What are the causes? Overstimulation by the parents. If little also child is crying, immediately parents will take that child towards us. So that can be a one cause, though that is a over pampering. Hunger, the feeding is not given properly to the child and child is hungry. Next is improper feeding technique. If there are not appropriate latching during the feeding, so there will be a stomach emptiness and because of that child will continuously feeling the hungry. Then physiologic immaturity of the intestine. If the intestine is immature because of so many reasons, it can be because of preterm child, it can be because of prematurity of the child, so again there will be a chances of having a abdominal colic. Cow milk allergy. If mother is not having appropriate feeding or appropriate milk, what she will do, she will try to give a top feeding. In the top feeding, if the child is having allergy towards the cow milk, so again because of that there will be an abdominal colic. Next is aerophagy. Aerophagy means swallowing the air. Because of the improper breastfeeding technique, there is a chance that the air is getting swallowed by the child. So because of more and more air is getting swallowed by the child, that is aerophagy, the child will be having an abdominal colic. So how you are going to manage it? Baby should be placed in an upright position and burping need to be given. Improve psychological bonding between the parents. Then management of organic cause. Organic cause means is really child is having some physiological problem, like we have seen in the cause, like immature intestine, so that can be treated. Antispasmodic drug, that is a Colicate, can be given. Frequent small amount of feeding and modification of the feeding behavior need to be implemented. Next is resistance to feed. My child is not having feed only or not taking feed only. What can be the causes of it? Dislike of test. The child is not liking the test. Separation anxiety from the mother. Now the child knows, once the breastfeeding is been given by the mother, child will keep the child, the mother will keep the child down and she will go away, so that separation anxiety will be there. The child will not be able to accept that separation. So to avoid that, he will not take feed only. So as much as he is not taking the feed, mother will not leave the child, that child will be knowing. So resistance of feeding can be occur. Forced feeding. If child is not hungry, or else they don't want to take that particular feeding, so again it is going to happen, there will be a resistance to feeding, they will not take the feed only, that is a forced feeding. Then indigestion of new food. Any new thing the mother is trying to give to the child, and that is getting indigested, so because of that also it may happen abdominal colic problem, like mouth ulcer. So next is management, how you are going to manage it. Reassure the parents. The parents need to be reassured about the child with exactly what problem the child is facing. Guidance should be given to reschedule the feeding time and change the food item, whatever. Now daily, if I am giving you only one type of feed, you will also feel bored with it. So you have the same thing you have to give to the children, like the feeding pattern as well as the feeding material which you are using, that need to be changed frequently. Then treat basic problem. If really any physiological or psychological problem is there with the child, that need to be treated. Encourage the mother to provide a tender loving care, means complete care need to be given. Then advice to avoid separation. Next is temper tantrum, means excessive angriness. This you can see in the 18 month to 3 years old child, who are development in the sense of autonomy. Autonomy means self, I am very great, that is the autonomy. Okay, so if that is getting developed in the children in this age group, so you can see this problem basically in them. Child displays a deficient, so many type of behaviors, means what, they are going to show you so much of anger, so much of negativism, so much of, so if you are asking them to do something, they will directly say no, they will directly do opposite things to you. So that is the temper tantrum, normal part of that's a normal part of child development. Gets reinforced when the parents respond to it, means the child is sitting and crying on the road and he is saying I want this, means I want this, and parents are allowing them to do that, so that is more dangerous. Now what are the features, what children will do whenever this temper tantrum, you can see physical aggression, they will throw something, they will bang themselves and all. Then resistance such as rigid body, they will make their body very stiff, they will not move. Then biting, kicking, throwing the object, it can be any object which they are throwing. Hitting the person who is walking along with them. Then crying excessively, rolling on the floor, screaming, banging the limbs. कभी कभी सर बैंग करेंगे, हेड बैंग करेंगे, लेग बैंग करेंगे, like that they will try to do. So how you are going to manage it? Set a good example to children. Now if the close friend of the child is eating something and you want the child also to be eat the same, so they will try to resist you, they will try to show some temper tantrum, so you can give a good example to that particular child who is having, and the results are very good. Then pay attention to the child, spend quality of time, have open communication with the child, whatever they wanted to tell you, you have to listen to it. Have consistency in the behavior, means your behavior should not be changed. Now during the temper tantrum, when the child is showing such symptom, what you can do? We have to tell the parent to ignore the child. Once they are calm, try to make them understand. but the ignorance should not be exceed, means they are banging the limb, banging the head, and it's the child is bleeding completely, and the mother and father is ignoring. Is not like that. Till the time it is safe for the child, the ignorance can be, means with the parents can ignore the child. After that, when they are little calm, we can explain them in a better thing. Verbal reprimand should not be abusive. Whatever you are telling to the child, it should not be abusive language. You supposed to tell in an appropriate way. Never beat or threaten the child. If you will do like that, I will call this one, I will do this, I will do this to you. If you will not listen to this, I will call somebody, they will give you injection. This threatening will not make them calm. They will be more anxious and more excited with it. Impose timeout, means the temper tantrum should be only till some time. If it is going beyond the limit, it need to be controlled by the parents only. Next is breath holding spasm. The breath holding spasm is also known as simple breath holding spasm, cyanotic breath holding spasm, spells, then palate breath holding spells, and complicated breath holding spells. Then precipitating factor is frustration. What is a breath holding spasm? If they something the child is telling you something and you are not listening to it, they will hold the breath, and they will hold the breath and they will not leave the breath. That is the breath holding spasm. Then the precipitating factor is frustration, injury, anger, and anemia. How you are going to manage it? No treatment is usually needed. Iron supplementation can be given to the child to increase the level of oxygen. Okay, to increase the level of hemoglobin. As we all know, hemoglobin is a carrier of oxygen. So to increase the hemoglobin in the body, we can give only the iron supplementation. During the blood holding spasm, make sure your child is in a safe place where there is he or she will not fall or get hurt. Next is, after a spell, try to be calm. Avoid giving too much attention to the child, as this can be reinforcement. If you will give attention to the child, they will try to do repeatedly. If I will do this, mother and father will listen to me. That is very clear to them. So automatically they will try to repeat it. So much pamper should not be given, or so much attention also should not be given. Avoid situation that cause a temper tantrum. Next is finger sucking or nail biting. Now, thumb sucking is very common in the children, which we have seen, but it is only good when it is going to be in some time, and afterwards it will be means only some period of time, some age of the child, it is okay. After that also, if the child is doing the same, so that is something a behavioral problem. Sensory solace for the child, that is internal stroking to cope a stress in the infant and the toddler. This is very common in the infant and the toddler. But if any 20-year-old person is doing thumb sucking, that is something abnormal, if you can say. Or else any 12 years or 13 years or schooler age children are doing thumb sucking and all, that is something abnormal. Reinforced by the attention from the parents, the precipitating factor, again developmental delay and neglect. Now, these are some adverse effects, that is a malocclusion of the teeth. If, as you can see in the image, there will be a malocclusion of the teeth. The open the teeth का जो shape होता है, that will be like this, as you can see in the image, that is the malocclusion of the teeth. Then mastication difficulty, they cannot chew the thing properly. Speech difficulty, especially D and T cannot be pronounced by them, and lisping. Whenever they are talking, the air will come out. Next is adverse effect. There is something known as digital abnormality, especially the fingers and the paranocychia. If you can see such a nail structure, so that is a normal, this is a normal nail structure. Okay, the left side which you are seeing, the right side which you are seeing, that is a normal nail structure. Left side nail structure is little different, but continuously, because the condition is like this, that's why in the left side also, near the thumb, one dome thing which you can see very clearly, so that can form. So reassure how to manage it. Most give up by 2 years, 3 years tak nail nail biting or thumb sucking is okay, but after that it is something very serious. Okay, reassure the parents that that's transient. Then improve the parental attention and nurturing. The parents need to be improve their attention whenever they will they will try to do something. The parents need to be given reminder to the children that they should not do like that. Teach parent to ignore and give some attention to positive aspect of the children's behavior. Then sorry provide child praise and reward for substitute behavior. If the child is not doing this, then you can tell them, you can give them some reward. If you will not do this, I will give you this, like that some rewards can be given. If it is very severe, then thumb sprint gloves may be used to reduce the thumb sucking. These are some treatment which can be given. This is something known as T guard. Okay, this is T guard which are basically given to the child who are having a problem of thumb sucking. Next is enuresis, which is also known as bedwetting. Enuresis is a disorder of involuntary micturition in children who are beyond the age when normal bladder and bowel control will be acquired, supposed to be acquired. Means the normal bowel and bladder control will be acquired in the children by the 3 years of age. That's why we are giving the toilet training to the children also in those particular ages. But if it after 5 years also, after 10 years also, the child is passing urine on the bed, so that is something abnormal, which is known as enuresis. The incidences are very common in 4 to 12 years of age group of children. There are some types, that is a persistent, which is a primary, and regressive, that is a secondary. Persistent and regressive. Persistent means daily they are doing the same thing, but regressive means whenever they are seeing something threatening, means somebody has threatened and then they have slept, there are chances to do it. Then again they have watched some horror movie or very threatening conditions they have seen, in that fear they may do it. Okay, so that is the secondary. Etiological factors, there are genetic, psychological, because of the anxiousness and all, physiological, the bladder and bowel control is also need to be gained in that particular age, but if it is not gained, so again there is a chance of having it. And the organic cause, some clinical feature, incontinence of urine, that is a dribbling of the urine continuously, there will be no control on the bladder. Dysuria, that is a difficulty in passing urine. Hematuria may be there, not in all the cases, but in some cases. Straining on urination, dribbling of urine. Stress incontinence. Stress incontinence means whenever they are doing some stressful activity. Stressful activity means coughing, lifting and running, and poor bladder control. Then the investigation you can give is the full medical history can be taken, genital and neurological examination can be done, urine analysis like for albumin, sugar and microscopic culture can be done to check whether the child is having diabetes, because in that case also the same symptom can be seen. If the child has a UTI, he should be treated by evaluating the USG also. The treatment is pharmacological therapy can be given, which includes some medicines, and non-pharmacological therapy like behavioral modification. The behavioral modification, we can ask the child to get up and go whenever they are. We can tell them to go for the urination before going to the bed. We can advise like that. Then parental counseling can be given, bladder exercises can be given, and something known as alarm device. This is the alarm device which is going to be attached to the inner wear of the children. So whenever they will pass the urine, there will be an alarm. The alarm will ring and they will get up. So slowly with that the thing will happen. So now you will tell how with the alarm it is going to be controlled. So for example, if I am telling you tomorrow onwards you have to wake up by 3 o'clock, you are putting the alarm. First day, because of the alarm you will ring. Alarm will ring and you will get up. Second day it will happen. Third day it will happen. Fourth day, fifth day, slowly. After 2 weeks or after 1 week also, before alarm only you will get up. Even you will not put the alarm, then also you will wake up. So that way the alarm is going to work to control this enuresis. Next is echopresis. That echopresis means passing a feces in an appropriate place, wherever means the child will not be having that sense where they are going to whether they are passing the bowel. Now the etiological factor: insufficient intestinal mobility, aggressive and prolonged medical treatment. Means for the prolonged condition, the children are on the laxatives, anemias and suppository, so automatically that consistency of the stool only will be become like that, and because of that also it may happen dietary manipulation for perceived constipation. Then anal fissure and rashes, surgical procedure for imperforated anus, psychosocial stress or illnesses. Management: how you are going to manage it. Initially you have to give counseling to the parents as well as to the child. Formation of bowel habits and training, that is you can give mainly in the 3 and after 3 years of age. And dietary management. Next is eating disorder. First is pica. Now, what is a pica? Pica means eating something inappropriate, which is not, we are not supposed to have. That is then pica, eating an inappropriate content. For example, mud. Some are having habit of eating mud, paint, clay, plaster, charcoal, soil. So these are some inappropriate content which people are having. Especially it is very common in the infant and uh, toddler, but after that it is something abnormal. If schooler and adolescent people and adult, if they are having it, that is something abnormal. Now pica, these are some types of pica. That is geophagia, that is eating of soil, mud, clay, chalks, etc. Phagophagia, that is a consumption of the ice. Hyalophagia, that is a consumption of glass. Myelophagia, that is a consumption of starch. Xylophagia, that is a consumption of wood. Trichophagia, consumption of hair, means the people are having plucking the hair and they are having plucking the eyelashes, eyebrow, and they are having. Urophagia, that is a consumption of urine. And coprophagia, that is a consumption of feces. These are some types of pica. Now pica after the 2 years of life need to be investigated. The precipitating factor is parental negligence, poor supervision, mental retardation of the children, then lack of affection, psychological neglect, especially to the orphan. Then family disorganization, lower socioeconomical classes, and autism. Then screening indicated for iron deficiency and anemia, worm infection, worm infestation. You must be seeing some children are having worm infestation. The on the face they will be having the white patches, if you can see. So, and they are eating too much. When they are eating too much, but then also they are not means it is not good for them. It is not the body is not able to accept that. So if the child is having worm infestation, so they will not only have food, they will have clay, they will have mud, they will have all the things. Some people are taking the wall paints, and then that also they are having. Next is lead poisoning, family dysfunction and all. So especially this, in this case, whenever there is worm infestation, why they will eat anything, they will take out anything and they will have. Okay, they will take out anything like mud and all, they will take out anything they will have. So because of that there is a more and more chances of having this worm infestation, because that is something inappropriate which is going to cause a parasites of the worm inside the GI tract. Next is some speech disorder, stuttering or stammering, defect in the speech. That is a kind of speech disorder, the stammering or the spasmodic repetition of the sound. Especially it will be a difficulty in pronouncing the consonants. Means what? The words which are having more ols, like a, e, I, o, u, that is getting the words which are having these words, these letters, that is going to be stretched by the child. And why it is happening? Especially because of the spasm in the lingual and palatal muscle. Your hard palate and soft palate, that there are some muscles, and sublingual also there are some muscles. So because of that your tongue is moving. So if there are spasm in that, this may happen. The stuttering and stammering may occur. Usually it is going to begin by 2 to 5 years of age. Then reminding and ridiculating aggravates, that there will be aggravating in the ridiculating. Then the child loses self confidence, the child will lose the self confidence and they will not talk to somebody very frequently. Why? Because they will feel shy. This front person may tease me, like that they will feel, and they will not talk to the person. Then they can offer signs and recite poem without sweat. Then how you are going to manage it? Parents should be reassured, we have to reassure the parents. Then they should not be show undue concern and accept his speech without pressurizing him to repeat. Means we should not tell them what you tell me one more time, so they will feel that hesitation to repeat that word one more time. So whatever they are telling, try to accept it. Then children should be given emotional support. Older children with secondary stuttering should be referred to the speech therapist. Next is tic. Tic means involuntary muscle movements. So there are so many types of tics which we can see. That is the involuntary muscle movement. Some people are having a vocal tic, some people are having a muscular tic, like that. Okay, that is the involuntary muscle movement. That is in some cases there will be a jerking of hand, in some cases there are jerking of some eye muscles, and also that is involuntary muscle movement. So how you are going to manage it? Medication to help to control a symptom, and habit reversal training, that is a HRT, a kind of behavioral therapy can be given. A child and adolescent psychiatrists need to be given, or else if it is very severe, then psychologists also can be help for giving the counseling. Then these are some medication which can be given if it is a physiological problem. Next is sleep disorder. First is nightmare, night terror, somnambulism, somniculism, bruism. So first is nightmares. The child awakes from the frightened and bad dream, and the child will be conscious of surrounding. So especially when the children are watching horror movie, so they will be like, they will become very frightened and they will wake up from the sleep. Next is night terror. They will awake in between the sleep and they will scream and terrified to recognize the surrounding, and after some time they will sleep again. In night, what is the difference between nightmare and night terror? In nightmare they will be aware where they are. Okay, they will be aware where they are once they are wake up. But in the night terror they will not be awake, or else they will not be they will not be alert where they are, and whether it is real or not. Whatever they are seeing in the dream, that is they are considering that is the reality. Next is somnambulism, that is the sleep walking. Somnaculism, that is the sleep talking. Bruxism, that is a streak crunching, means the crushing sound of the teeth in the sleep. Now how you are going to manage it? The child should have light diet in the dinner, so they will have a pleasant sleep, and the nice story need to be given to them to listen. Then excited game and picture should be avoided with such children. Then especially at the night time, then the parents should be allow relaxed comfortable bed and emotional healthy environment to the child. It's not the parents need to be need to threaten the child and then they will sleep. They have to give a pleasant environment before they sleep. In case of sleepwalking, the door and window should be locked properly. In advice to prolong problem, the psychologist need to be the parents need to consult a psychologist. Next is school phobia. This is very common in the school age of children. What is school phobia? It is a persistent and abnormal fear to going to the school. It is an emotional disorder of the children who are afraid to leave the parent, especially a mother. That is a kind of separation anxiety from the parents, and they want to be at home. What are the contributing factor? Anxiety about the maternal separation, that is a separation anxiety again. Then overindulging or overprotective or dominant mother. very overprotective, like little also cold is there, you don't go to school, little also thing happened, you don't go to school. So that is something overprotectiveness. The child also will be having that school phobia. This disinterested father, if the father or any kind of guardian is not at all interested in the educational background, they are not having a good educational background, so they will not have that importance to the child should go to school. So what they will say, why you are going to school, what is going to happen, like that discouragement will be given to the child, and automatically the child will be having the school phobia. Intellectual disability of the student, the parents are having so much expectation from the child, but the child's intelligence is not as per the expectation of the parents, so automatically they will be having their school phobia. Unfavorable school environment. Next is some sign and symptom. Recurrent physical complaints like abdominal pain, headache, and all. Whenever, and it will be in the timing, means whenever the school going time will come, that time these all symptoms will be there. When the time will go and normal, then the child's normal daily routine will be there. So that is a main symptom, sign and symptom. So the management is habit formation, improve of school environment, assessment of health status of the child. The health status also need to be assessed frequently, whether the child really have some problem or else they are just showing it. Next is family counseling will be supposed to be given. If really some family problem is there, then family counseling can be given. Behavioral techniques and some medicine if it is required. Next is ADHD, that is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. In that there are main three complaints will be there. In the ADHD, that is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, in the name itself suggests attention deficit. The child will be having less attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and hyperactivity will be there. So inattention will be there in the child, impulsivity will be high, and hyperactivity will be there. These are some incidences. Then the etiological factors, some genetic factor, biochemical factor, biochemical theory, pre, peri, and postnatal factor. There are some pre, peri, and postnatal factor. Like if really some neurological trauma is there during the antenatal, perinatal, or postnatal period of the delivery. So again, it may happen. Environmental influence. If the child is very slow. In the beginning, child is very slow, but the environment, like family environment, social environment, they are behind the child, do this, do that, do this, do that. So again it is going to be happen, it is going to affect the neurological condition of the child. And psychosocial factor, risk factor, drugs exposure in utero, means when the baby is in the womb, the mother is exposed to some teratogenic substances like x-rays or UV rays or any kind of medicines and all. Then birth complication, during the birth if there are some complication, because of that the child is having neurological trauma. LBW, that is low birth weight child, lead poisoning. Clinical feature, first of all there is inattention. The child will not be having that much attention. One if child is, you will ask that child to do something for some time, they will do it and again they will run, they will leave it halfly and they will do something else. That is the inattention. They will not have that proper attention, that is the inattention. This is the explanation of it. Next is hyperactivity. The child will be hyperactive, they will not listen to it, just you will ask some question and they will be behind the next question. They will be very hyperactive, they will be very enthusiastic to do something, but that is something negative, over enthusiasm. Next is impulsivity. They will be very impulsive, means you will ask them question, without completing the question they will try to give you answer. So that is the impulsivity, they will not have that waiting thing. So these are some type. Class 1 inattention, hyperactivity, impulsivity. In class 2 there will be hyperactivity, impulsivity, and in class 3 only inattention will be there. How we are going to diagnose such children? Complete medical evaluation need to be done. Then a psychiatric evaluation can be done. Detail of prenatal, perinatal, and even early developmental history can be taken from the mother. Direct observation, teacher school report, and parents report can be checked. treatment, pharmacological treatment is also there, and non-pharmacological treatment is also there. Amphetamine is first line medicine for the ADHD, and in the non-pharmacological treatment there is supposed to be a behavioral therapy and biofeedback. Biofeedback means a feedback from the teachers, from feedback from the parents alone, so that is a biofeedback. Nursing intervention you can give: develop a trusting relationship with the child, ensure the safety environment, offer recognition for successful attempt. If they will complete some task, you have to give them reward, you have to give them attention to it when they will complete the task. If the task has been incomplete, then again you have to ask them to repeat the task. Then provide the information and materials related to child's disorder, then explain the demonstrate and positive parenting technique, then coordinate overall treatment plan with the school, collaborate with the personal and the family. These are some people which are having the problem. Next we are going to see the social problem. The first problem is masturbation. Masturbation means improper handling of the self genital. Masturbation or genital stimulation by holding the genitals gives pleasure to the child. Means whenever they are handling the genitals, the child will get some pleasure. The infant and the toddler do this out of pure curiosity, because they are having curiosity, so they are doing it. But the older children are doing it for the sexual feeling. Boys during the teenage mainly they are doing it, and girls may do in the lesser degree. Mostly it is, you can see in most of the boys than the girls. So how you are going to manage it? Explain the parents about the that it is normal during the pubescent and prepubescent and pubescent age. It is a normal, but it should not be in a excessive, like the frequency should not be excessive. In case of excessive masturbation, child requires special attention. Facilities for recreation, diversion, sex education and the counseling need to be given to the child. Such children need to be counseled repeatedly. Parents should be provide love, affection, attention to older children with specific concern of their feeling. Educate parents that punishment and threat can be will be aggravate the child. It's not the because of the child is doing masturbation, so the parents, if they will give punishment, the child is going to stop it. It is not going to be stopped. It will be aggravated. So whatever doubts they are having, whatever feelings they are having, the parents need to keep such an environment in the family, so they will be the first of all the parents itself has to give some love and affection and attention need to be given to the children. Whatever doubts they have, that can be getting solved. Next is anorexia nervosa. Anorexia nervosa is a kind of eating disorder in which there will be a they have to maintain a weight, that's why they will not have food. They will feel because of the intake, their body weight will increase and they will not look good. Especially you can see in the adolescent and pre-adolescent age. Etiological factor: genetic cause, a disturbance in the hypothalamic function. Social factor means they are social factor means somebody is continuously telling you are becoming so much fat, so much fat, so they will directly leave the food. Even though it is becoming harmful in their body, they will not care about it. Individual psychological factor, like they are seeing somebody, they are seeing something on the television, they want to become like them only, so that thing also may happen. Causes within the family: diseases of liver, kidney, heart and diabetes. Diagnosis: complete physical examination is very important in this. Metabolic and CNS abnormality need to be ruled out, and malabsorption syndrome also need to be ruled out. Then CBC, that is a complete blood testing: hemoglobin level, platelet level, cholesterol level, protein, sodium, potassium, chloride and B1, that is the blood urea nitrogen, can be checked, and ECG reading also need to be checked. So this is a complication of anorexia nervosa. How you are going to manage it? Psychotherapy, antidepressant drug can be given. Then behavioral modification, nutritional rehabilitation, parental counseling and modification of the parent and child relationship, hospitalization if the complication condition is there. Opposite to anorexia nervosa is bulimia nervosa. In this, the person will have so much of food. Bulimia nervosa is characterized by episode of being eating followed by feeling of guilt, humiliation, depression, and sin contamination. Means what? The child will feel that so very depressed, very nervous, and because of that pressure, they will have so much of food. Etiological factor: first degree biological relative, means somebody else is having the same problem in the family, then they are having the chromosomal abnormality, then possible role of serotonin level in the brain, then society's emphasis of if the means if the continuously socially somebody is telling you are very thin, you are very thin, the same impact will be there in their brain and it may harmful for the child. Family disturbances or a conflict, sex abuse, say that is sexual abuse, then learn maladaptive behavior, struggle of for the control or self identity. These are the clinical feature. They will be like this, but they are thinking that I am very this. Then diagnosis: history collection, physical examination, in the laboratory test blood glucose and serum electrolyte. Then management: psychotherapy, TCA or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor can be checked. Then hospitalization in complicated cases. Next is social problem in children. First is juvenile delinquency. Now, what is juvenile delinquency? Juvenile delinquency means indulging in an offense by a child. Means what? They will do some activity or else which is not accepted by the society. Means some robbery, some threatening somebody, something they will steal from somebody, rape and also these things. Then contributing factor: usually these children belongs to broken family or emotionally disturbed family. Okay, basically where there is not unhealthy environment inside the family, these children mainly will be belong with this. Rapid urbanization and industrialization: because of that, what will happen if there are rapid urbanization and industrialization? These children will get neglected because both mother and father will start working. Next is social change and changing in the lifestyle. Their lifestyle itself they will try to change. So for that money is required, for life changing, social influence, money is required, and because of that it may happen. Then influence of mass media: they are seeing something on the TV, that same they will try to implement. Change in the moral standard and the value system. Next is lack of educational opportunity and recreational facility, poor economy, unsatisfactory condition at school and college. Then unhealthy environment in the school or in the college, that is the teacher student relationship, lack of discipline, next is aggressive, dishonest, addictive, unethical, rigid, and disciplinary parents. These are some behavioral disorders, that is a delinquent behavioral disorders, that is lying, theft, burglary, transit from the school, that is a running from the transclurency means running from the school, then running away from home, habitual disobedience, fights, ungovernable behavior mixed with antisocial gangs, cruelty to animal, means they will beat the animal, they will harass the animals and all, destructive attitude, murder and sexual assault. Contributing factor: unhealthy then prevention: how we are going to prevent it? Eliminate contributing factor, emphasize healthy relationship in the family also as well as in the school also, foster healthy parental and child relationship, and tender loving care need to be given by the family members, fulfill basic need of the child, provide educational opportunity, facility for the sports, exercise and all the recreational activity whatever the child will be liking. Delinquent child need symptomatic attitude with the necessary guidance and counseling for the modification of the behavior. Refer the child to the child guidance clinic when if it is required. Then a team approach is necessary in the management of this condition, including social worker, It's not the only one person can treat such children. Social worker, psychologists, psychiatrists, pediatrician, and so many members like school teachers, family members, they have to come together, and then only the child can be treated. Promote modification of the social environment and rehabilitation of the delinquent child. Next is substance abuse, means periodically the child will take a teratogenic substances like cigarettes, smoking, alcohol, drugs, and all. Contributing factor: frustration, emotional conflicts, disturb family and the school or the school relationship. Victims of gang victims of gang activity, like they are involving in some gang and with that they are doing all those things. Wrong adventure, like the friends are telling do once nothing will happen and all, so that also can be there. Then poor parental guidance, lack of recreation or and the education, commonly found in the boarding schools, not in all but in some. Prevention, how you are going to prevent it. Provision of adequate facilities for recreational entertainment and all, especially in the hostels, not all the hostel but in some hostels. Proper channelization of energy of the adolescent in constructive activity, means their energy which they are wasting in such thing need to be utilized in something which is useful in their future, like that can be given. Then inclusion of a dangerous of inculcation of the dangerous substances like the drugs and all need to be kept like little away. Then provision of mental health program and periodical psychiatric guidance facility in the school. Then the ill effect of the substance abuse need to be informed to them with the help of health education. Parent, teacher, family members also responsible to provide an emotional support, so excessive emotional support need to be given. The addiction of the child, if it is needed, the child need to be concerned to psychotherapy and the de-addiction center and the rehabilitation center. Next is child abuse. Child abuse refer to all kinds of abuse like the physical abuse, mental abuse, neglect, treatment, maltreatment by the child, by the to the child by a person who is responsible for the child's welfare, means a person is responsible for the wellness but other than the wellness the person is harassing the child, so that is something known as child abuse. These are some type of child abuse: physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and social abuse. Next is child labor, means before 14 years of age child is working somewhere, so that is a child labor. Especially in the rural occupation will be agriculture labor, tend animal like cows and all like that in the village, as everybody know. Collect and self foster product of the firewood, जाके कहीं से लकड़ी लेके आना, and like that they are going in the jungle and then they are cutting the wood and they are bringing and they are selling also. Work as a domestic help in the urban, again you people must have seen in the urban area also some people are working in the hotel, they are cleaning means they are working in some garage, on the street they are cleaning the things and all, so like that things. Child trafficking, any person under 18 years is it's recruited, transported, transferred, labor, or received for the purpose of exploitation either within or outside the country, that is a child trafficking. Like you are transferring that child because of some reasons like exploitation of the child, to exploit that child, they are transferring the child from one place to another. Child marriage, there are some reason for the child marriage. Influence of Hindu law giver, like giver Manu and his law, like as per the Hindu law the child can be get married by 18, but 18 ko if 1 month is also remaining they are allowing for the marriage. Then lower status of the woman, if the woman is not educated, that the socio-economical background is very poor in the family, again that can be a reason. Then anuloma marriage means the if a wife is died, the husband can get married with the wife's sister, that is a anuloma marriages. Problem of dowry, joint family system, concern of tradition Hindus about the chastity of the girl, then caste system, customs of some communities, agriculture, economy, practice of sati system which was there but now it is not there, and foreign attack in India. Other social problem like child beggary and orphans. Welfare services, there are some welfare services which are looking after this all these behavioral and social problem like child welfare agency, daycare centers, holding home, recreational facility, child guidance clinics, adoption, placement services, and adoption is repeated. Law and legislation related to children like Juvenile Justice Act 1986, Juvenile Justice Act 2000, internationally declared the rights of the children. Then again the child labor this child labor act is also there, which is this is 1986, but it got revised again in revised again in 1996. Then child marriage, in the child marriage act again it is now recently it is revised that girl child supposed to be get married by 21 years of age and not 18 years of age. So these type of prohibition can be given. As the nursing responsibility, we have so many responsibility as a nurses, like wherever the child behavior and social problems are there that can be get treated, for that family and social support is required, that awareness need to be given to the society. So this was the today topic, that was behavioral and social problem in children. If you have liked the video, so please like the video, and till now you have not subscribed the channel, so kindly subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you.